Hey everybody, Ben here from Cineblock Studios, and I unfortunately did not get around to finishing writing my video for this week, so I couldn't shoot it. It's actually going to be a two-part tutorial, so probably the next couple of weeks you'll be seeing that. It's a sort of fundamentals of landscape design, so how to build up landscapes basically from scratch, and all the different sort of elements of art that kind of go into that. Really looking forward to that. For this week, though, I'm actually going to be showing you what I'm going to be uploading. Here it is. It's Tuesday's stream from Twitch, but rather than just uploading the long version of that, it's something like an hour. I've decided to kind of cut it into the highlights and really kind of curate that into a, I would say, more digestible video. So again, stay subscribed for more stuff like next week. Enjoy the plethora of tips and tricks in this highlight video, and I'll see you guys next time.
Got this fly down here is driving me freaking nuts. I was chasing him around with a piece of cardboard earlier. I love being able to just bat him out of the sky, but probably not going to be able to. Alright. So I have this thing that I'm kind of treating kind of like a rock. I specifically wanted the foreground to be a lot darker, so I gotta be careful with where I'm actually putting this. Don't know how long I'll be able to actually stream today, but I at least wanted to paint a little bit today. Normally I love painting in the morning, like getting up at like 7:30 in the morning and just painting until noon. But I had a bunch of other stuff to take care of this morning, so I'm kind of getting a late start to my day in terms of painting, and then I won't get a chance again until Saturday to really work on anything. So that's kind of where this... I kind of have to be as productive as I can in a relatively short period of time, because really I only have maybe like 2 hours to work today. So let's try and get as much stuff done as I can. This is actually a brand new brush that I picked up. I think it was when I picked this up. I picked this funny green color up at the store. So I was like, I need to get this color to make this painting. Which is when I got my red oxide, this color, that's what that ended up being, is I really needed to get this color for a piece. And then this new color, chromium oxide green, which is here and also there, so you can see a little bit better. I was like, in order to do this painting that I'm thinking of, I kind of need to snag this color. So this whole landscape, I really wanted to focus. It's not quite monochromatic, but there's a heavy focus on this green and the titanium buff. So as basically more or less just those two colors. And there's this sort of a three-layer piece. So I have the darker foreground, I have the mid-ground green, which is sort of the dominant layer right now, and then there's the backdrop, which you guys probably can't really see, but there's faded, glazed over spires like I have here, but they're in the background, so you would really only be able to see them maybe from about maybe 5 feet or closer. So for this point, and since I didn't do a Photoshop concept beforehand, I'm kind of just figuring things out as I go. So I want that green, maybe some of that blue, to start working on a bit of a transition. A little bit of white. It's kind of like an aqua green. That'll work for now. So I'm allowing myself to let a few more shapes and a few more details kind of show up in the painting phase as a little bit of a discovery, and allowing myself to kind of build these areas up with a little bit more freedom, but also a little bit more chaos. Oh, coming back again, are you? Come on, get back here. back here so I can whap you. I'll get him. I'll get him sometime today. I'll make sure of it. So with the green, it's green as like the rocks and in the baseland. So anything that is going to seem like grass is going to be more implied. So it's kind of interesting that way. I don't want to. Kind of have to be careful with where I'm putting even my midtones in this foreground space, because I don't want to take away from the darks as much. And because it's me, gotta make sure I do my edges. Everybody else is like, I'll just paint the edges black. It's like, nope, paint your edges. There's really no reason to do it. Well, my reasoning is always, I don't like putting frames on my stuff, because framing is really expensive. But it also kind of adds a nice, interesting dynamic to the piece. You can just hang it right on the wall like that, and the painting just kind of envelops the whole canvas. Okay, gotta be really sparing with this now, though, too. Because I could very easily just overpower this piece with these highlights, and it would blend way too much with this backdrop. Now, my bit of mist that I put in there does help, but I can't let it go overboard. I would say really the core of this piece is just me playing with brushwork and trying not to overmix, so to speak. Because it's really easy to overdo your brushwork and just blend everything out so it's flat. So for this, I'm really trying to maybe put down a couple of brush strokes and then just letting it go. There's always something I'm working on. Every painting is a new experience, so every time I'm doing something, I'm trying something new, or at least trying something a little different than maybe my last piece. So for this one, it's about keeping that brushwork a little bit looser. Which I have done before, but I try and, or at least I tend to forget it sometimes, especially on bigger projects. So doing this on a smaller 12 by 12, it allows me to have a little more freedom that way, just to kind of keep things looking simple and believable. I guess I would say I would want more highlights in the center, because all my light's kind of coming from the top and the center, but a little bit less on the edges. Okay, so that's pretty good. I'm actually, I would say, probably about 99% through on this one. What I really want to do now is just drop in. I usually drop a little figure in all my pieces, so I'll drop in a figure, and I'm going to come back in with my liner brush and just kind of do some final detailing. And then this piece I could actually call done. Alright, anyhow, so getting back to this. Sorry, I get distracted really easily. Yeah, I gotta get a different brush than this isn't gonna work. Sorry for the silence. I kind of have to concentrate a bit when I do this. There we go. Couple of small figures in there. But I'm actually, you can't really see it, but I have a huge smile on my face right now. Because I'm excited to see this piece getting finished up, and putting all these little details in is always really fun. Okay, so it seems that Twitch is being extraordinarily ornery today. I don't know what the hell's going on. Part of the reasons why I moved over to Twitch from YouTube is for the stability, but right now it just doesn't seem to want to be stable. I don't know what the deal is. Jeez. I should probably vacuum down here. It's probably dust. This keeps making me do this. Or you know, all the pollen from all the yard work earlier today. Alright. One thing at a time. Okay, so I did that. I want to get, again, a little bit of this lighter color here. Not a lot. Just a tiny little bit. Again, for those few final details. Just a couple areas I want to kind of pull forward a bit. Because that's what it is. I mean, you know, darker colors are sort of backing in, and then the lighter colors are gonna, you know, make you feel a bit more. Things that pop out more. It's just about building up that contrast. All right. I have ourselves a nice finished piece. This was sort of both a big project and an in-between project, but I really wanted to just do something a little bit different. I'm actually going to pull this up towards the camera a little bit more so you guys can see that maybe a little bit better, and see a bit more with the detail of it. So yeah, I started this one I think about a week and a half or so ago, and really happy I was able to finish this one up today. A little bit different, playing with, again, not quite monochromatic colors, but relatively similar to them. So yeah, relatively very happy with this one. So this will get 3 layers of a gloss coat as well as wired before I'm ready to hang it. But for now, it's just going to go here out in the corner. So actually, I want to do something different. I started these ones. This is just a watercolor base. The splatters are India ink, and then I have a Pentel brush pen here, which I did for a lot of these looser shapes. And I want to go back in with some white gouache and just kind of highlight some select areas. Maybe anyway, I'm not sure quite yet. But these two, and these two I did with just the pen. But I want to get something different. A Sumi inkstone and a stick. And one thing I did the other day, which is actually really fun, rather than using the ink and grinding it into ink just in the stone, I used the ink stick like a crayon. So I wet that and grind a little bit down. Make sure it's nice and moist. Kind of works a little bit like watercolor. And then shake off the excess. Then I'll come in and just make a shape with that. And push that around a little bit. It's a very non-traditional way to use an ink stick. I'm sure some artists are probably like cringing with what I'm doing right now, but I find it's actually kind of neat. It looked like almost an apocalyptic city there. Almost like an Empire State Building. I like that. That's neat. I do a little more with this one though. Stamping with it. Yeah, it's cool. Drips here. All right. Splat. See, now this is why I have my Kleenexes. This is what I usually use them for. Okay. Put this back in my drawer. And we get every techie's best friend. Canned electronic duster, or just simply canned air up here as a guard. Okay, that looks interesting. Because I want to flip this over, get it going in a different direction. Just out in every which direction. Yeah, that's good. And you never want to fill it completely up, because that little bit of air goes a long way. Because if you fill it too much, it kind of floods itself. It's gray again. So right now it's pretty black. So sit and sketch for a minute. Make some mech towers. I love doing these, which is what these are up here, basically. But because the paper, since everything's watercolor paper up there and the cardstock is thicker, I don't get as fluid of a line, so I can't be quite as good. I think we might be just starting to change. Maybe. Maybe not. Thing is, I'm going to need it to be gray for tomorrow when I'm at work and I'm sketching. Come on, my gray to black transition wasn't this fast. Or was a lot faster than this. Hope I actually used gray and not black, because that would be hilarious if I didn't. Maybe it's already gray and I'm just going insane. No, I think we're... Yeah. I was going to start another piece today, but I think I might just sketch at the start of another piece, because I think that'll be enough, because my nose is running and it's getting ridiculous. So, I have a project called the Kingdom of the Wind Visual Development Project. That's something that I, unfortunately, have not gotten any headway on since kind of launching it last, November. But recently, I had sort of the first piece planned out, and I did a new sketch, and I was like, this is a little bit better than my original concept. So I decided I wanted to, so I just sewed over my sketch, which you can kind of just probably barely see, and then I have something I've been doing a couple times lately, depending on the side of the canvas, putting these sort of black cinematic bars in over top. So I wanted to kind of just go back in and re-sketch on top of that. That's a bridge, just a little bridge that kind of cuts across it. This is why I try and do yard work in the evening, because then it frees me up to stream in the morning without having problems like this. Alright, so thanks everyone for tuning in. This stream, actually I didn't hit record on OBS, but I think I can download directly from Twitch, so hopefully the recorded version, not including all of the gaps in the times all the broadcasts decided to drop. So that should be up to YouTube probably towards the end of the week as a archived video, but I know you guys can probably watch it up to 2 weeks here on Twitch otherwise. So thanks for tuning in. Be sure to check out again more of my stuff over on YouTube, painting tutorials and all that fun stuff, as well as showcases of my own work. Look under the title Painting Process video for those. All that can be found at youtube.com/c/ capital C Enderblock Studios. Links also available below the video, as well as on my website, enderblockstudios.com. So thanks guys for tuning in, and see you guys next time.